12 dreams for the Red Queen under crown of stone. 8 voracious beasts born from 8 restless nights. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner. 1 prayer for the summoned, called by this song. 'Tis perhaps the countdown to oblivion for the once proud city of London. 'Tis perchance her inhabitants' last dance alone to face death and pestilence. Confronted by the eerie and unknown, mortals became desperate for answers. A flock's flight makes for an omen, the falling of a star a dire presage. Turning to priests for interpretation when there was no reason to be found. When religion failed, men turned to science. I saw them build such vain cities, crafting machines made for endless war. New questions flourished as old answers withered. What is darkness but lurking sun? What is wall but enslaved stone? What is glass but tortured sand? What is song but a call to arms? What is hate but jilted love? What is life but death pending?
Death. Since the apple was plucked from the sacred tree, mortality was believed to be God's punishment. A righteous snare to keep mankind from ascending to the stars. They were all so wrong. Death is not a wicked thing, nor some holy retribution. A true punishment would be to never know its sweet kiss. Awaken from the harshness and be born once more.
Mary! Oh, no! Mary! Hold on! Please, hold on! Oh, God. Oh, no. Mary! Mary! No. This horror. It's a nightmare. No! Please, a moment, let me explain! These patrols are after me.
Stupid beast!
No! No! Don't shoot! This is a nightmare. I need to get out of here. This can't be happening.
Over there!
No! Please! Stop! I mean you no harm. What's going on? Oh, Mary. What have I done? What's all this about?
Has it fled? Shit, where'd it go?
Now, I can defend myself.
Kill the thing!
Who are you? Stay back! Sorry, but you left me no choice. Who are you?
Stupid beast! It's down! Finish it!
Sorry.
Salute! Kill it!
No, please, stop! Who are you?
One of them vermin!
What do you want? What is wrong with you? I mean you no harm. I need help.
Die, you fucking leech!
Please, listen to me. I can't make any sense of this.
Shut up, beast!
Who are you? What is this all about? What in God's name?
I'll do the rest of the job.
Just leave me. The sun. It feels like it's burning me to the bone. I need to find somewhere to hide.
Right now!
Let me go! I need to find shelter. Is anybody there? What is this place? The place seems abandoned. I should be safe enough here.
This one's dressed up fancy. Let's run through his pockets.
Picking the dead's pockets? Are you serious?
I've still a rent to pay. He's got no more responsibilities. What's this? Gold watch.
Beautiful it is. We fancy it and share the takings. I suppose we are undertakers. Now, give him an Eve.
That's impossible.
she might linger longer, her eyes as white as gold.
Who goes there?
A prayer summoned by warring song. A child born from darkness must accept of his power.
Who's there? Are you referring to me? No! No! I still have so much to accomplish. I still have so much left that needs doing.
Johnny, this one's lost. We need to leave. And now!
No! There's time. I can save him.
That's the enemy coming! The orders are to evacuate the hospital!
Done. He'll live.
And now what?
We fight. Killing is a hell of a lot easier than healing. No, it never got easy. This makes no sense. None of it. No sense at all. It's a nightmare. That's it. So be it. Rational thinking only. This is absolute madness. I've lost touch with the real.
Madness it is, as mad as the moon, contains blinding sunlight into a glowing voice in my head. If I'm not mad, then it must belong to the one who made me what I am. I must find him to understand what I have become.
Where is it? It's closed.
These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Here's the leech. Here!
My head's spinning.
Oi! Come out, you coward!
It's locked. I'm still in Southwark. I must reach the West End.
There's one of them.
Go back home.
Die, vermin!
There's a strength I never knew I had. It's locked, all right.
Oh, this one stinks already. Leech! My God, watch out! Filthy piece of shit!
Every sinew, every fiber of my being is afire. I feel like a child learning the limits of my body. My strength, my reflexes. I'm not human anymore. My poor sister. If only I had controlled my need for blood. Mary, someone will pay for what happened to you. For what happened to us. This is despicable. The dizziness from the jump. I can now control it. I have this thirst for what will London have to say to me. I've so many questions unanswered. Another corpse. Have the very streets of London become a mausoleum?
man has been drained of all blood, but I can still smell the scent of it. I follow the scent's trail. Perhaps it will lead me to my assailant. Fresh blood. The smell is so strong. Where has everyone gone? At last, a little life.
He didn't
deserve this.
Not long ago, this...
Good evening, sir. I wondered if I could...
Wow, you look...
Yes.
Been there, seen...
What's going on around?
You must be new here. Have you not heard?
Who is this?
It's the local bogeyman. Convenient answer for every...
You make it so...
People will always believe...
Has anybody...
Can't say. Sorry.
This is important, sir.
I don't know and I don't care. It's...
I'll leave you to... Whoever he may be, the killer...
Hello, sir.
I don't know.
Maybe you prefer...
What's going on?
Too many dead, sir.
The murders.
Bodies found in the streets every...
The sewer dog.
No one knows.
What have you heard about?
There's a Spanish flu. Yeah.
Are the authorities?
Nothing.
I just wanted...
I'm not afraid, sir.
I only see...
Oh. Well, yeah.
What is this?
This is Tom's bar. A turquoise
Are you always open?
No, it's only since the epidemic started.
You don't seem...
Most people are sleeping right now. And those that...
I'll leave that.
Oh, God, sir. You look like...
No, thank you.
Well, grab a chair.
Why is it...
You must be new around here.
Tell me more.
Every morning for the lot.
Do the...
Even before the outbreak.
Where am I?
You're at my bar, sir.
Aren't you...
Scared of what? Nope.
So you're...
Yep. Figured.
I'm looking for someone whom...
It's been quiet tonight.
You mean he's still here?
Well, yeah.
How long...
He rented the room a few days ago.
Who is this man?
Well, like a gentleman, I guess.
I need to...
Just climb the stairs and knock on the first.
Yes?
No funny business.
Not long ago, this sort of mess was giving me a laugh.
This is no place for you. Prewen has several patrols roaming the area.
They do not pursue me.
But they're looking for vampires, and they're most efficient.
They'll not relent until the killer has been identified.
I have a common objective, but I require...
I think someone is eavesdropping.
Are you certain? You might as well come in, whoever you are.
Slowly, vampire! Who are you? I mean you no harm. Say it, the vampire. Present yourself! I need a word. With anyone. Well, that's something I can do for you. And who might he...
Tell me.
First, tell me what...
That's none of your...
Sir, you have entered my room in the middle...
Someone.
The calling card.
You seem the expert.
I have my secrets.
Then if you are not a vampire...
Dr. Edgar Swansea of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. I'm
I heard another voice.
Ridiculous.
Something tell...
Then the feeling is mute.
And what exactly...
Sir, if the name is not familiar to you...
What have you uncovered?
It started a few nights ago.
How different?
A vampire is at work here.
Then help me find the culprit.
I may. If you...
I followed a trail.
You thought I was your aggressor. That explains a great deal.
Perhaps.
You should let me handle this affair.
No.
How will you do any better than I? But then let me...
I'll end him.
Then I can only wish you good...
If Swansea is not my attacker, it means somebody else came here tonight. Someone must know something. I will get to the bottom of this intrigue. What's been done to me, to this city.
Can I have some privacy, please?
He didn't deserve this.
Welcome back. Did you find what you were...
I can't say I have.
Hey, I told you, you would...
I think you're hiding.
I hide many things from...
Goodbye, Mr.
There's gotta be something.
Hello, sir.
And you're still ugly.
I'll leave you...
He didn't deserve this. Evening, sir.
I have a few... I spoke to Dr. Swansea.
The truth?
I suspect that someone else was here.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom says you...
I can feel your fear.
It's Will.
Why are you so...
I mean, his skin. His hand.
What happened to...
He was dead drunk, as usual.
Tell me about this.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory.
Why keep it a secret?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job...
I see.
You again. What can I...
to me about the...
Yes, Will came by tonight.
Why lie?
I didn't lie.
Who is he?
William. Just an old sailor.
Is he dangerous?
Yeah, like many.
How was he?
Sicker than usual.
I need to...
You could try his boat. It's up by the...
Please describe it.
What do you expect? He's a tall...
Thank you, Tom.
If you...
There's gotta be something can be done.
The body is still warm. This man was our... What's this? This corpse has been... blood and empty gin bottles. There are blood splats on it. Ammunition crate. Good. I may need a lot of bullets. I feel like I'm back on the front line again.
Right. No time I can remember. But I've only been part of the last 3 weeks to the day. All the more reason to shut it. Instead of bloodsuckers dug in here. You've got one job. And that's to find it. And find it fast. It's fair enough, Tom. But why do they hide where it's so damn cold? It's a leech! Kill it! He's dead! Murdering bastard!
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
shall overcome this. We've done it before. Brother, I had a drink outside tonight. I was betting if it did not quench my thirst. I must have more. Oh, dear God. Not again. William, please stop.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
My last and dearest friend. William, my arm.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
We knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by Scal?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you... like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed this drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... what manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that Skal. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming. It's okay, Jonathan. I'll see you later.
You can do better than that. Nah. It's my turn.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan.
All right, sorry.
Yes. That's a very nasty...
Name's...
Follow me, Mr. Cox.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
In the back, you bastard! Didn't have the guts to fuck me. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
To taste a life, to embrace its most intimate secrets. Such a burden, such a divine sin.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous...
Do we know it?
Actually, yes.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about
He was also very confident about your future.
What is the Pembroke...
This hospital is not exactly the
It's more than enough.
Don't be misled by appearance.
What can you tell me?
Some are really good, and others are not.
Tell me more.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she were...
Any opinion?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve.
Ah, yes, the burden of command.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time...
I apologize, nurse.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible...
Thank you, nurse.
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet...
Thank you.
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke...
I would like to ask if... And Mr. Hampton, the
I gave him a sedative to help him...
If you could point...
Second floor...
What kind?
Well, you accepted the job from him.
It's right to assume...
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me.
Apologies, I've only just...
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon.
Thank you, Nurse Crane. Good evening, sir.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed.
That's quite a blunt...
You can call me Milton.
I'm not sure.
Well, I'm no doctor.
You have a keen eye.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed.
How is the
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's...
Are you really?
And why not? I've already been attacked.
But you're not defending yourself.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor.
So what do you do exactly?
I've been an ambulance driver since...
It sounds like...
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped through the hospital's...
You left and...
Go there yourself if you want, but be...
Since you're on the front line...
It's a complete disaster.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about...
Did he really?
All members of staff have already read about...
I see. Well...
You must know. Blood transfusion...
How are things?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy. More lethal...
An invisible enemy?
Sorry, Doctor.
Do you think this hospital...
We are all volunteers here.
I'm not familiar with all the staff.
Brilliant professionals. Most of them.
Most of them?
It would be inappropriate.
Is there anyone...
Well, I have never met someone...
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limit.
Nurse Brannigan, if you...
No. I may disagree.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason?
If it wasn't for him...
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just...
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope...
Goodbye, nurse.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr...
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency?
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed.
And why do you believe...
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am.
I see.
Never?
It's a mental illness discovered by a friend.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to...
Please.
I can hear my body crumble.
I'm assuming you must be a patient.
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Please
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here.
It's only a cover. To hide.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
Oh, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of... Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face.
I'm Dr. Reed.
You guessed right, Doctor.
How is your stay?
Oh, it's bliss.
Can I ask you
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work.
Who is treating you?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's...
Can I do anything?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
Where were you stationed?
I really don't...
No offense. I was pushed...
You were an officer, weren't you?
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful.
So do you let her bite you?
And why not? She's only...
She could decide to bite less...
And it's another good reason.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed?
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems...
Goodbye for now. Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
You remained perfectly nice at...
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief.
How did you end up...
I had received alarming news about...
Why did he...
William was an alcoholic. His addictions...
You dared to enter this...
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed.
Do you know Tom Watts?
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old...
People are still in...
How could it be otherwise? The authority...
Who should I avoid in this part?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their...
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long. You know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint. Not even
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton?
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton?
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swan...
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need...
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
Daily routine.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan...
Well, it's a you...
How would you describe as...
It's serious. The flu is...
You must get...
Sorry.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish...
I wish I could believe you. But what if this...
How long?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are...
I don't like your attitude, Nurse Hawkins. Pessimism can be as lethal as the epidemic in times like these.
Sorry, Doctor.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than...
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily...
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation.
Why does Milton...
I don't know. Just ask him.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, madam.
It's my son who...
I'm Dr. Jonathan...
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll...
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes. Thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswell.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware...
Your son wished to die, Beatrice.
Are you not aware suicide is a crime? Mortimer could be thrown in jail. I can't let that happen. I won't.
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. Goswick. But don't you realize your silence significantly affects your son's case?
All my son needs is help and comprehension. Not judgment and punishment for what he may or may not have done.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening.
No.
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain...
Yes.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor...
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk.
How painful?
So painful.
I'll let you get...
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox.
It's not me you have to convince.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case. Shall we call this progress?
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities.
I guess I should thank you, then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words. I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any...
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Nice sweet girl.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think... Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fit.
I will not let you down, my boy. My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
I'll give you some advice, but understand that nothing beats practical experience, which can be exhausting and solitary work.
Of course, sir. And don't worry, I will never allow myself to be a burden, neither to you nor this hospital.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the...
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop...
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. Please, could you tell me...
I'm a great admirer.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me, Mr. Fiddick.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father. ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Goodbye, Dr. Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. Good evening.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir.
A colleague? Are you a doctor, too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadha.
What do you mean?
You used to know, sir. It is just that...
Are you afraid?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels.
An interest,
sir. As a medic during the war...
How did you get this?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there.
Do you work here?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have...
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic.
Have we met before?
I don't think so.
When we first talked, you said you were...
Funny story, sir. You're
a pawnbroker?
Yes, sir. All kind of people.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember?
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you?
No. I believe we must do all the good we...
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even good...
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I love...
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is...
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chadha.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a fool.
Goodbye, Mr.
Thesis to it.
It's locked.
At the same time.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital...
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy? It really won't do you any good, you know.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reed. A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can...
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
It seems you have bad memories of...
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
Thank you for your time.
It's locked.
Plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
You don't mind if I search your pockets, do you, sir? You won't need any of these anyway. I'm not stealing from you, mister. I'm only redistributing your belongings to people who need them more than you. You see, no one has claimed your body, sir, so it would be such a shame to bury you with your valuables. I will not forget you, sir, and I thank you for your generous donation.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Doc.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment, I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting room.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Doc.
How dare you steal from the dead, Rakesh? Is that what your pawnbrokers is really about?
These people are dead, sir. What they possessed could be useful for the living. And I'm sure they would agree if they could speak.
You may be right, but you'll go to jail if you're caught.
If ever I have to go to jail, I'm sure I'll find a way to help people there, too.
Goodbye, Mr.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now. Stay here until my research is complete. I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood? Yes, Nurse Crane?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted...
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war...
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. I cannot enter. Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody. So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins is thinking of leaving the hospital?
That's not a surprise. We've talked about it already.
Does it not bother you?
Sometimes I think she may be right. We should run away while we can. Question is, where can we go? Where is it safe?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired.
Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. Perhaps I should have considered the offer.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me.
Even the dark.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Doctor.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins, but are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke, but we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Miss Hub.
I need blood, Doctor. Warm. Rip.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
lost all my friends. They've gone now. Not quite sure. Oh.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
The air of disgust on every street corner.
Surely I can endure
In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust.
To disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling...
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair while the world crumbles around you. Tell me more about it.
There's nothing more to say, really. It's hurtful, it's unbearable, and I don't ask anyone to understand what I feel.
Despair is a deadly poison I've tasted myself, sir. We're only tempted to drink it because we're terrified by the uncertainty of the next minute.
I know that perfectly, Doctor. For I waited for so long, hoping that the next minute would be less unbearable.
I've read...
There's nothing more...
Despair...
I know that
I have to go now.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor.
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his motivations for committing suicide. Tell me more about what you know.
As you say, Mortimer had no reason to die. All he said to me was that he wanted to make the world a better place, but couldn't.
What do you think he meant by making the world a better place?
Mortimer has always been a sensitive soul. He wouldn't talk to anyone for months after his father passed. It's like he carries everyone's sadness with him.
Why did your son feel so useless when facing the world?
I think it was more that he could only see the melancholy facets of life. He couldn't help but dwell on such things.
I have read your son's suicide note. It was not an impulsive gesture, nor was it his first attempt.
He threatened to kill himself a few times before. But I never thought he would dare to punish me this much.
Punish you? Why?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life. But I always hoped he cared enough to avoid making me suffer like this.
Do you realize your son could try to kill himself again? He might succeed next time.
I think about it every minute. But I won't stop fighting for my son's future. That's how much I love him.
Your determination is laudable, but you are in a state of denial, Mrs. Goswick. Your son has a very strong death wish.
How dare you talk to a mother like that? Talk to me like that?
I'm only trying to be honest, Mrs. Goswick. As painful as this fatal end may be for you, you have to accept this is a possibility.
No. I'll never accept it. If my son was to die under your care, well, you have no idea what I'm capable of, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then. For your help. And for your silence.
I think you should talk to your mother. It would be good for both of you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. I'll think about it. Now please, let me be.
I have to go now, sir.